Hello everybody, this is Coach Guzzy and welcome to Coach's Corner every Friday. Hello everybody, welcome to episode 5 of Coach Guzzy's Coach's Corner here at Hot Corner Sports. Today, my guest today is Mr. Jim Fucci. Thank you for coming today.
Thanks
Appreciate
for having
you.
Us. Thank you.
Jim is an advocate down in Little Ferry. He shakes the block. He moves everything. It's nothing moves without you, man.
I don't know if I'm shaking the block with 2-inch biceps.
That's just, I hear you. He's also a gym teacher at Cliffside Park and a member of the New Jersey High School Hall of Fame for coaching. Nobody better to help us.
Thanks for
help
having
us
me.
with some enlighten us on what's going on with these children these days, man.
Let's talk shop.
That's it, man. That's it. So tell us, man, what's going on with you? As far as the summer, how was your summer?
Summer's great. You're around baseball all year. We got baseball up and running. Mm-hmm. We got an opportunity to get those kids back on the field, which is vitally important for their psyche and their physical aspect of their life. Yeah. Being a gym teacher, you can't be cooped up in front of an 11-inch screen for 6 months. Right. It was important to get them back out there. So to have baseball back, it cut into my camping with my family a little bit in vacation time, but summer was great.
I got you. I wanted to ask you, man, what was that challenge like? I spoke to Coach Hector, but what was? I know you're more militant. You're very structured when it comes to organizing and coaching. What was that like during COVID? Like to actually put these kids in order, to have everybody in order. Like what was that like within the rules and everything else that was?
So for me personally, it was outside of doing temperatures and keeping kids 6 feet apart and having masks on. It was what we do. I'm glad you used the word militant and structured. If you want to be a good coach, you have to be structured, especially with little kids. You give a little kid an inch, they're going to take a mile. So to do what we do in practices, whether it's whether the year I coached in college or the high school or now little guys, it was normal. Yeah. It was what we do.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I went to a few games and I see it's hard to keep kids 6 feet apart. They're children. It goes from okay, and then 7 seconds later, they're giving each other a hug, a high five, and so
you can't do it by yourself. You structure everything, but you also got to have your other guys. You have to have other coaches. You have to have team moms and parents help with the the surveys and the temperatures and somebody in the bleachers saying, hey man, sit on the dot, sit 6 feet apart, because at any given point the town could have came in and said, we're done.
Yep,
we're done. And the work that went into it for the town to come down in maybe a 30-minute span would have been terrible, because a lot of time went in there, and the kids, they needed to be out there. So
of course.
There were a lot of factors, almost like a perfect storm, like Superstorm Sandy. A lot of things have to happen for that superstorm. A lot of things came to place with us. We have the backing of 3 different communities. We have fathers. We have guys who play college baseball. We just have a lot of people that have always helped out, but more so helped out this year because they knew the importance. Not only get their kid out there, and I've always said, if it's good for my kid, it's good for all the kids, especially this summer.
Gotcha. It's good stuff. So, quick question, because obviously, it's not easy to be in a New Jersey Coaches Hall of Fame. That's hats off to you.
Lucky.
Like that's big, man. That's big. That's forever. You see what I'm saying? That's forever. So, what's your coaching philosophy? I've been there at the field and I've seen you. You're very structured, militant, as I said before. But what's your main ingredient to success?
I think a kid's got to know that you'll run through a wall for them. A kid's got to know that you have their back. Backtrack a little bit. When I was a kid, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a coach. So from the time whether I was watching Don Mattingly play first base or Dwight Gooden in a mirror, because he was righty, I'm lefty, and I watched him in a mirror so I can look at his mechanics, and I studied it. Then I go to college, and I was fortunate enough to play for 2 really good coaches and then coach under some coaches in high school. Kids need to know that you're there for them. Kids need to know that when they step onto a field, there's a purpose. Every mom, every dad wants their kid to get better. But the question I ask, how much better do they really want them? Because Kids need to be a challenge. Kids need to be in a structured environment. Kids need to be in a healthy learning environment. And kids need to be challenged in terms of mentally and physically. You know, a kid goes to the field and they're lollygagging, that kid ain't going to get better. Mm-hmm. You know, and if you don't challenge that kid both mentally and physically, if you don't put parameters in, whether it be a training session, that's where the magic comes. Games are easy. Games, you line them up, you play, you make a pitching change here, I don't know, you intentionally walk somebody and pitch around somebody. That's great and all, but the magic comes in practice. You know, and to me as a coach, I think the thing that makes the biggest difference is that kids know that you have their back. If you don't have a kid's back, I mean, you played at a high level, you're going to fight for that coach that has your back.
100%.
You know, whether they're militant, whether they're a player's coach, whether they're aggressive or not aggressive, whatever style you have, that kid's got to know that, hey man, I'm coming to this field, I'm going to work my tail off for you and your teammates. And I think once you establish that, you know, the thing that we're most proud of, whether I coach baseball or soccer at Cliffside Park, is putting over 50 kids to the collegiate level and play. You know, half of those kids maybe saw through a 4-year education. Well, they all graduated, but they didn't play all 4 years. But they were given the opportunity to go. Taking a kid to a college visit when mom and dad aren't around because they're working 3 or 4 jobs.
Yep.
You know, not because we want them to run through a wall or do the right things sportsmanship-wise on the field, because we want to see that kid succeed. 10-year-old kid, we want to see that kid progress, so they're eligible to play sports in high school and possibly at a college level and beyond.
100%. I can attest to that. You know, I've had my fair share where I played for the majority of my career. I played for some really good managers, you know, some really good coaches, whether they were our coordinators, a roving coordinator. I've been lucky to actually, when I was with the Mets, a lot of our roving coordinators were 1986 world champions. So, you know, like those guys, they have that experience, they you know, they have that knowledge, but they were player coaches. They were for us, you know, and man, I tell you, I might have 2 or 3 that they really didn't care. You know, they didn't care, and that energy that they put out is what they receive. And I'm glad that you touched that you let those kids know that you'll run through a wall for them, because when, even at a high level, as a grown man, 25 years old, 30, 35, doesn't matter. When you play for a coach that you know he cares about you, the best is brought out of you, because you have nothing to hold back. You see, there's no boundaries, so you just know that you'll do anything for them, and that's amazing. That's very, very, very important.
Going back to studying coaches and the way coaches speak and just the psyche part of coaching. I listened to, I know Bobby Knight, I know he's ostracized, and I know he's kind of, you know, did things a little different than a lot of coaches, but he was holding a seminar for high school basketball players. And he said, what I want you to do is I want you to write down the 5 teachers that taught you more than anything in high school. And then I want you to write down 5 teachers that rode you hard, that you really didn't like. 4 to 5 were the same. You know,
I totally get that. Like, I can sit here and I can give you, I remember I had a Spanish teacher. I'm not even joking. My first class was at 7 a.m. on the dot. So I used to get out of high school at 11:15 when I was a senior, junior year, senior year, right? And I'll never forget her. I forgot her name, actually, but I remember what she looked like. I remember everybody in my class, and I remember there was a telephone right next to her desk. And if I got there at 7:05, which I did a lot, she would call my mom from that phone in front of everybody and have me stand in front of the class. Now, you know, everybody has their own way of doing things, and you know, I'm not a fan of like the embarrassing part. Like, I'd rather like rip somebody a new one quietly. You know, that's just the way my dad's like that. You know, everybody thinks that my dad doesn't, like, he doesn't. No, he does, but he does it quietly. You know, he'll put us in our place. But she would do that, and that was her way of showing me some sort of accountability and being responsible. Like, hey, you got to get here on time. When you get older, when you get a job or whatever it is, they're not going to be waiting for you. 7:05 for a 7 o'clock start is late. I'm sorry.
Fired.
So that kind of set me up for professional baseball. If we had to be at the locker room at 6 o'clock in the morning, fine. Early work was at 7 a.m. Be at early work at 6:45. And little things like that, like I will never forget that. She might be long gone, God rest her soul if she is, because she was a little older, and I will never forget her for that reason. She kind of like, that stuck with me. It just stuck with me forever, and it's kind of like, wow, man, like you don't even pay it any mind in the moment. You're like, man, she's being annoying, or man, she's bothering me, but her little way of being militant and being, having structure changed me in my upbringing a little bit, as well. So it goes a long way. So I'm sure that those kids that you coach, they're always gonna remember you. I remember being at a practice.
Yeah.
Your all-star practice.
No.
And I remember, like, I'm there, and you're like, hey, come help, come out. And I'm like, okay, no problem, I'll go. And I seen how you were like, boom, on the hop, boom, boom, boom. It was but the kids loved it.
Loved it.
They loved every second of it. And on top of that, what you get at the end? The trophy. Champs.
Kids want to be, my 24 years of teaching high school. I teach at Cliffside. There's, a lot of non-documented citizens in our high school, so parent background is not really home.
Gotcha.
Kids want to be disciplined. Kids want structure. As much as a kid's going to be on their phone and be blasé about things, and if you present structure, they're going to meet you halfway. You're not reinventing the wheel here. I mean, coaching's been going on for 100 years. Yeah. More so that.
Being a parent is a coach.
Same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
We were talking about it before the camera rolled. I mean, you got to hold kids. You got to come with energy, and the kids are going to follow any lead that you set.
Matching energy, 100%. 100%.
And in an hour, I mean, the kids, I said, man, let's get kids outside in 35, 40 degree weather. Yeah. No throwing, but those kids are going to be sweating. Yeah. You're going to get a heck of a workout in an hour. Just moving and it's great.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your upbringing, like where you're from, your high school, how did you get into the high school Coaches Hall of Fame?
Real fortunate in my life to be born and raised in a community of Cliffside Park. Born and raised there, through their little league and rec department. Kind of slacked a little bit in high school. My parents were going through a divorce, so I was kind of finding my way. And thank God for my high school coach, John Brunelli and Ron Merrill. They are also Hall of Famers in New Jersey and Coaches Hall of Fame. They kind of grabbed me and kind of put me back on track a little bit. Fortunate enough to play 4 years of high school baseball and soccer on a varsity level. And I was very fortunate enough to be accepted to one college. My grades weren't that good, but I was accepted to Mars Hill University down in outside of Asheville, North Carolina, Division II college down there. And I was fortunate enough to play 4 years and start 4 years down there, get a little bit of money. Tuition wasn't that expensive back in '92. Got an opportunity to play down there and start and travel the southeast. Again, I'm a blessed person because of baseball, because I kind of had a skill set that got me into college. My grades didn't get me into college.
Gotcha.
Baseball got me into college, and because baseball got me into college, baseball got me an education. Because baseball got me an education, I found myself teaching back at Cliffside Park High School, coaching with the same mentors that kind of put me on the straight and narrow. Because of baseball, it found me back to Cliffside Park High School, and it's where I met my wife. So that's why I'm very passionate about the game of baseball, because it's given me so much. I'm not getting paid by it, but it's given me an opportunity to be who I am, to meet my wife, to work the dream job back in Cliffside. I live the dream life. Hector Rodriguez says to me all the time, "Oh, you're rich," and I'm not rich. I just don't spend money like other people. But the other day I was thinking, I am rich. You know why I'm rich? Because I have a job that allows me to pay my mortgage. I have a wife that loves me. I got 2 kids that respect me, and I have my health.
That's right.
Yeah, I am rich.
That's right.
So baseball has taken me through 46 years, well, I started playing probably when I was 4 or 5 in T-ball. So for 40 years, baseball's been a huge part of my life. That's given me an opportunity. It's given me an opportunity to teach my own kids. Give me an opportunity to try to change a culture in our community, holding kids accountable. So, I'm living the dream because I'm teaching right back in a community that's given me so much. And not only did I go back to the community, but I was able to work alongside those guys and those 2 coaches that have given me so much.
Gotcha, man. That's the biggest thing, because once we're gone, eventually one day we're gonna go. It's gonna be the next generation, and what are they gonna? They're only gonna follow what they've seen. What's been paved for them is what they'll walk on. So they have to pay for the next.
Agree.
So that's huge.
Agreed.
That's big, man. That's big. You have 2 great kids, man. Riley and JD.
Proud.
Tell me about them.
2 different kids. My daughter's 13. You better be doing your homework. She's different. She's a little more introvert, quiet. Likes to play sports. Doesn't really want to put anything extra into it. Sometimes she does. My little guy just is all about competing and just getting after it.
He's a warrior, man.
But the 2 things that I'm most proud about my kids is that they're good people.
That's right.
For the most part, they're honest. My daughter's feeling her way through. She's being a 13-year-old. I say all the time, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And mom and dad, as parents, we're gonna do. We have a phrase in my house, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, and we're gonna do choices. You've got to make choices, and the choices you make depend on the choices your parents make.
That's right.
We hold our kids accountable in our house.
That's great.
The teacher's always right in our house.
That's great.
And I think that's why we have 2 kids that are good kids. Good kids. Very proud.
I agree.
Again,
I agree.
Coach, extremely blessed.
I agree.
Extremely blessed.
Now, everybody sees you at Little Ferry all the time, right?
Yeah.
They see Coach Fucci. Oh man, got the bag going. You got this going. You're coaching here. You're coaching there. You're a man of many hats. So, what is your label? What is your main thing there at Little Ferry?
In Little Ferry, what? In
Little League.
In the Little League.
Yeah.
I'm just another link in the chain, trying to make it great for our kids.
You're a big link, man. I'm telling you.
Listen, I was taught hard work's gonna get you where you want to go. Before myself and Hector and Lourdes Villasuso, Rocky Villasuso, Kathleen Buda, there's a lot of people. Vanessa Rodriguez, Kenny Bauerschmidt. Before we got involved, there was one guy that was running the whole league. And he was catching, on the chin, and somebody said, hey man, why don't you get involved a little bit? You coach high school, you're a successful high school coach, you played college ball, you coach high school ball, like, hey man, we need somebody like you. I said, yeah, we'll come in, but let's bring these people in.
Gotcha.
And we did. And you know what? Again, just another link in the chain, and we're really proud of what we have down there.
And you guys have done an unbelievable job. It's really unbelievable. That whole facility there with the turf fields and the batting cage, the stands, it's just the way it's set up by the pond. It's perfect. It's perfect for the kids. It's perfect for the families.
But again, like you said, somebody before us paved the road.
Oh,
somebody before us set that complex.
100%. Absolutely.
And so we just kind of took the baton and helped our president, Bob Gerber, really just take it to the next level. I mean, we got a lot of people that spend a lot of time down there. In the off season, I'm going to actually go down after this and shovel the snow down there so we can get, our equipment that we ordered in on tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Right? So there's a lot of hands that go into it to have a successful program.
That's awesome. So you being a gym teacher in Cliffside, more kind of a inner city, it's not far. It's an inner city school. What's some advice that you would give to the kids who aren't so fortunate, as fortunate as the other kids, the kids that they kind of like, they're down on themselves, but they kind of like feel bad, like, oh, I don't have it, I can't, I don't have the means to do this, to do that. You see it every day. What is the best advice that you would give those kids?
Very simple. Never forget where you come from. Work your ass off. Good things are going to happen. Say it to my gym class every day. We do 20-minute ab workout every day. A few things I say, anything worth doing easy and never worth doing. Good things only happen to those people who work hard. and never, ever, ever forget where you come from. Where you come from, that's your roots, and your roots are gonna, underneath that soil, they're gonna span quite a bit. Never stray away from where you come from.
That's right.
Ever, and be true to yourself. And if you can do those 4 things, don't matter if you live in a cardboard box. If you want something bad enough, you're gonna find a way.
That's right.
I know these might be cliche things, but these are things that I live my life on.
It's cliche. Those things are cliche to people who haven't lived it. When they live it, when you put that right foot forward and you do what you said just now, and it happens, you're like, whoa, this is not cliche, this is real.
So I'll give you a quick story. My junior year in high school, again, my parents divorced, crazy, didn't know where I was coming or going. I wasn't a nuisance of a kid, wasn't getting in trouble with the police, but school was not on my radar. It was all about baseball. That's all I wanted to do. My guidance counselor, I'm looking into college, I always wanted to go to Wichita. Wichita back in the late 80s, early 90s was, the perennial powerhouse NCAA. That's where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to college and play baseball. My guidance counselor said, Jimmy, you're a special ed kid. We need good people out there to pump gas. And from that point forward, that's when I knew I wanted to be a teacher. That's when I knew I was going to share my story with my students. I got 140 kids. We're virtually learning. Yep. I said to my students the other day, you guys are always logged on. You guys are always working your tail off with abs. It's a grueling ab workout. You guys can easily turn your camera off and say, ooh, my Chromebook doesn't work, or my Wi-Fi's off.
Yeah.
My students don't do that. They meet me halfway, and that's why the kids that I have progress, man.
It's huge.
Progress.
It's huge, man. Huge.
Preach. That's what we are. We have a platform as an educator. An educator is a coach. You're an educator, right?
Yeah, of course.
We have a platform where we have little eyes looking at us.
That's right.
And as long as we work hard for these kids, and as long as we're honest with these kids,
don't get realer than that, man. Oh man, I'm looking forward to the next season coming up here at Little Ferry. I can imagine trying to bring home another title.
I don't know. Let's get the snow off the field first.
I hear you, man. I hear you. But thank you, man. Thanks, you for being here today.
Thank you,
Coach.
Coach.
It's a pleasure always.
You're a class act. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Mr. Jim Fucci.
Yep.
Guys, so long from here. Episode 5, Coach's Corner with Coach Guzzy. Mr. Jim Fucci. See you soon.
Peace out.